Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We're going to check out the patch notes. Now, it will be quite a long video, but there has been a lot of changes. We will mostly take a look at the combat stuff. Necro will not be in here because it's a new class. Now, please make sure not to forget to subscribe if you want more Elder Scrolls Online content. Very important. Now, that's a lot of useless information. Great. Let's skip down. So again, Necro is out now. The most important thing is the Criminal Act. Very important. It's actually really annoying. This is the first thing that triggered me real hard. You get bounty when you actually summon things and you cannot deactivate it. Very annoying. Sunspire trial, new trial. I already streamed this. I have a guide on the website and we'll also start uploading videos. You get the skin, you get the mount. But the mount is fairly hard to actually get. Oh yeah, need to ring the bell when you subscribe. So you get the notifications. Because the YouTube system is, I don't know why. And there's also a lot of new sets. I already made a video about them, but we can go over them real quick. The crafty Alfig is like basically like Draugr, just for Magicka. However, it looks nice, but I think Shackle Breaker is still overall better. Like you could combine crafty Alfig with Necropotence, but it's like, I don't know. I like Shackle more because it just gives overall better stats. It's not a bad set, but it's also not good. And you cannot craft this. You actually need to farm this in Overland in Elsweyr. Then, now again, these are the live patch notes, okay? This is not on the PTS. Darlog Bray. While crouching, you restore 607 magic stamina. If you want a sneaky character, probably no problem, but... Wait, okay, then we have Undertaker. When you deal damage with a light attack, you apply minor lifesteal to your enemy for 8 seconds. Yeah. Not really good, but whatever. It's Overland, so it's fine. I mean, Crafty Alfig is actually fairly good for a Overland set. Wes Wilk with a Prime sub, thank you very much.
Oh my god, no fucking way.
Now, we do have Senshi Rat's Grit.
What have you done?
After being damaged by increase your healing received by 6% and you're, yeah, I don't know, useless. This one also, nope. So this set here is good, okay? False God's Devotion. I actually changed most of my Magicka builds to like this set. Because yes, Siroria technically still has more damage, but most people... Like, it's not really applicable in trials. Is that the word? Applicable? Whatever. You can't use it. Because you will lose the buff, the stacks and all that stuff. So this one is way better. And you can combine False God's Devotion with a Breton. Then run blue or gold food like the Bloody Mara. And you will have 20k health. You're not gonna die. Okay? Not even in Wayrest 1. And this year, there is a perfect version as well. So it's very overloaded, actually.
God, no fucking way.
What?
You get spell damage, you get max magic on the 5-piece, and you get the cost reduction. And you get max magicka when you kill the nene. Like, it's so strong. Siverd V1 with a 4-month resub. Thank you very much. So yeah, this is the go-to set. Perfect weapons, perfect item pieces already drop in non-hard mode on the bosses, okay? So you don't need to do hard mode. Very important. So this is a good set then. Tooth of Locestis is a new best in slot stamina DPS set. It's gonna be tough to farm daggers because I think only the last boss can drop weapons and the chests usually only come in imperfect gear. So yeah, good luck. But yeah, this can give you such a high Major Slayer uptime, it's crazy. The best stem class? Stamina Necro. Pulls really high numbers and the major vulnerability is juicy as hell. Then we have Perfect Eye of Navintas. I think this year it's only 3 seconds, so I don't think it's good enough. It would need a higher uptime to be worth it. I don't think it's a good set. Yolnarkin. When you taunt an enemy, you give yourself and 11 group members minor courage for 15 seconds, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 129. Now this year is actually a good set if you don't have anything better to run. Because Olorim gives you Major Courage, which increases your spell and weapon damage by 256. Whereas Yolnarkin gives you like Minor Courage, right? But yeah, it's a question like, you could run Powerful Assault, maybe it would give more weapon and spell damage, so is it really that good? I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely worth farming. Then we have a lot of stuff we're gonna skip because it doesn't really affect. Oh yeah, the skin maybe, that's important because you only need to do Veteran, you don't need to do hard mode to complete it, okay? Lee Templar with the donation, thank you very much. Like and subscribe and hit the bell. Yes, you're not wrong. How the fuck do you know Olorim stats on top of the head? Even though I do have a goldfish brain, sometimes some stuff gets stuck at the edge. Now let's see, housing, okay. There's always new stuff, sure. Guild finder, now this is actually a big one. You can actually very easily find guilds now. It's like you're looking for a new player guild. I can even show you that in-game. Poof. Technology, guys. Technology today. You go here, Guild Finder. Browse guilds. Group PV, role-playing, social, PvP, questing, crafting. There's everything. Test trader or like this play style. Casual, balanced, hardcore, and then it pops up. You can click on it and then apply to guild. I can't apply because I already have 5 guilds. So yeah, that's actually a pretty cool feature, and I hope, because I personally really dislike the dungeon finder. It makes people lazy. It's like you queue in with randoms you don't know. They get angry if you don't know all the mechanics. If you apply to a guild and you actually go through dungeons with your guild members, they will teach you the mechanics. So I can highly recommend searching a guild via this guild finder now. Pretty cool. And yes, it's a bird. Blah blah blah. Then we have Volendrang, which is fairly cool. I uploaded a video a while ago about the tutorial. I can put the video into the description so you can check it out. Cyril campaign adjustments. Now, this is a big one actually. Imperial City got finally removed out of Cyrodiil. So it's a separate campaign now, okay? When you actually check it out here, it's separate. There is a champion points and a non-champion points. So in the evening it's usually kinda packed. There's finally PvP again. So make sure to check it out. I can highly recommend it if you have the DLC. Blah 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 blah, yeah. Then there's a few reworked item sets. Ropes of Withered Hand. When an enemy uses and damage dies, heal for 100 and gain Magicka. I guess this is not a bad starter set. For a new player with 220 character for dungeon. Why are they shit though? Just need to find a beginner friendly guild and you should be Gucci. Don't use the dungeon, the queue, people just gonna kick you usually. Then we have Vestments of Warlock. When you fall below 25, before it was 33, you gain 11k Magicka. So this year is a little bit lower, but you gain more and the cooldown is shorter. So yeah, guilds never accept applications. I think you have to give people time, you know? Because at the moment, I think everybody's flooding them with requests. You also have to see that. Because like it's new and now people want to use it. Essence Thief. When you deal damage with light, yeah, okay. So they basically, it's still the same, but I think it lasts. No, it's the same, but it spawns closer to the target and lasts 5 seconds. The essence, you still can't see it, so it's not really. I don't know. It would technically be a good set if you could keep it up, but not happening. Then trappings of invigorating, basically the same thing as vestment of warlocks, just for the stamina version. Leeching plate. When you take damage, you have a 20% chance to summon a cloud of leeching poison under the assailant. The cloud deals and heals you. Yeah, this is actually like kind of a decent tanking set because it actually also heals you for a decent amount, so it's nice. It's not good, but it would be. It has a cool animation. Okay. Yeah, these are the patch notes for the new patch. Affliction, when you deal damage, you have 50% chance to deal disease. Yeah, whatever. It's nice that they rebalance this set, but... Or like these sets. They always like check which sets are not really used and then... Voila. There is ESO logs now, so you can actually log stuff if you want. Sky shards. You can now purchase sky shards. I can also showcase you that. It's already out, early access, May 20. I know a lot of people don't know. You go... Where is it? Actually, the upgrades, Sky Shards. So you can buy them if you actually have the achievement. So you cannot gift them. Each Sky Shard costs kind of 50 crowns. And you need to have the achievement unlocked. So before you actually can purchase it, you need to have the whole zone achievement unlocked on at least one character, okay? I thought it would be more expensive, so I'm kind of surprised that it's that price. Obviously, if you want to buy all Sky Shards for one character, it's still gonna be like a crazy amount of crowns. Some changes here, whatever. Cloudress, Movlor, Karsh, Malatar. Combat and gameplay. Well. Hate to save time on... Yeah. I mean, I guess it's fine, but at some point, it's like, as a new player, the first thing you actually see in the game is the crown sword gets like pressed into your face like this big, like bam, eat it. Then there's so much stuff in the crown sword these days, it looks like it's kind of pay to win, I guess, I don't know. Okay. So remove the 200 millisecond post global cooldown from cast time abilities. This is nice. It doesn't feel that weird anymore. Soul Assault and still has a 100 instant. Okay. Player abilities that fear targets will no longer cause them to flee in terror. Instead, they will now cower in terror. Because when people used like mass hysteria, people got feared, and you could fear people through stones or through walls. So instead of fixing it, they just changed it so you don't get feared away anymore. You just get like frozen in place, kinda. All immobilized from player and item sets will now apply immobilization immunity once applied to prevent multiple immobilizations from applying on the same target. It's 3 seconds. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Necrotank is very viable. Just make sure to check out my website. I have builds for all the setups already there, and most stuff is updated. We also have beginner guides there for all the new people that just came in. This is pets no longer attempt to aid the roamers in sieging destructible keeps. Okay. Weapon swapping while an arrow is in mid-air will no longer cause the arrow to disappear. Yeah, that would be great. Nice. Dying on a destructible structure in Cyrodiil will now no longer cause your corpse to magically float in the air. Ah, that was the... Huh? Really? Okay, that's just mostly fixes. So gap closers got huge change. Is blast bones? Yeah, it's a little bit buggy at the moment. So this is a big change actually, the gap closer. Remove the snare applied from all abilities that deal with character charges, leaps, teleports, or other movements. Removed all minimum ranges from these abilities, drastically increase the speed of all these abilities and increase their auxiliary effects. Dragon Leap, and it's more so an exclusion to some of these changes. Yeah, Dragon Leap still functions the same. So you basically can spam Gap Closer now, okay? Like crazy. Because it doesn't have a minimum range anymore, so you can use it. You could even use it as a spammable, technically. Now, that's about this. Yeah, you can just test it out yourself. You will see. You will immediately see the change. It's kind of funny, I guess. I don't know. It's just some fixes now. Class changes. This is the big boy one. Ardent Flame. So Dragon Knight. Increase the duration of the standard. They changed a lot of the skills. Trust me. I changed all the skills on skill book. There was so much change. Jesus. So this is longer duration now. Then we have Fiery Breath, increase the damage of the initial hit of this ability by 200%. To be on par with our point blank AoE standards. So they said they are doing an ability overhaul. No, ability audit. They're calling it ability audit. For all classes or something. So a lot of things like Fiery Breath both on magic and stamina is now really strong. So instead of using like Crushing Weapon on a Dragon Knight, you can use Noxious Breath as a spammable now because it deals good damage. Even on a bow build, it's actually really good. They also increase the damage of this. This is Fiery Grip. The chains. Increase the damage of this ability and its morphs by 20%. It deals more damage and it has also the gap close treatment. Inferno. This ability and morphs now operate like the Flames of Oblivion, where they will scale with your highest offensive stats. Also increases the power of these abilities by 5%. So that means the other morph, the healing morph also scales off your max stamina and weapon damage now if you want them to. Okay. Flames of Oblivion, this morph no longer exclusively adds the dynamic scaling mechanism. Instead, the morph retains the gaining of major severity and hits one additional enemy. What? Ah, it's because this one scales now, this one doesn't scale anymore. Makes sense, so it still scales basically. Well, Deemlate, if you can, play a Stamina Necro at the moment. If you want fancy abilities, go with a Magical Necro. Lava Whip. So this is a big boy change here. First off, they reduce the cost of all the morphs, then Molten Whip. Rework this ability so it no longer grants a passive bonus to weapon damage and spell damage as others slotted. Instead, this passive grants access to Seething Fury, a 33% damage bonus to your next Molten Whip cast, and increase of 125 weapon and spell damage every time you activate an Ardent Flame ability. It isn't Molten Whip. This bonus stacks 3 times and lasts 5 seconds, so I can actually showcase you that real quick. Damn, we have role players here. Basically what Molten Whip now does, I like how the skill works, but on a stamina character is like, it uses a slot, but you can't really, like you're not really using it. That's still, so yeah, they still need to rework Dragon Knights a little bit more. Because I would like to have more stamina more, same for a stamina Sork. Vicious hasn't changed. It stacks up to 3 times, so technically your whip can do 99% more damage. Yes, it's a lot of damage, right? A lot of damage. While we're waiting, please guys, make sure to not forget to subscribe. There's more Elder Scrolls Online content rolling your way. Very important. On my website you also can find beginner guides and all that stuff. It's all there. Builds for endgame, how-to guides, yada yada. So when we look at this, Where is it? So this is this one. So you get the stack, and it actually looks fairly cool. So when I use, it's active when you know your eyes start glowing, and the effect scales, gets stronger.
He disconnected, he's gone.
That's like the max stack. So you can stack if you can keep using this ability, Noxious Breath, every 4 seconds, 5 seconds, because now it also deals decent damage, right? As a direct damage hit. So it's not even a damage loss. So you could put that into your rotation. But usually what I do is when I come back from the back bar, I just use Noxious Breath and Venomous Claw. So I have at least 2 stacks going in when I use my spammable. That's a pretty cool change. Now the only thing what I don't like is you don't use Molten Whip because it's a magic ability. So it uses up a slot, but that's about it. Lord of Atlantis. The 3 months resub. Thank you very much. Now let's see. But yeah, you can technically get the 99% extra whip damage. That's kind of high. That's kind of high. Now, next thing, Searing Strike. Adjust this ability and its morphs to follow our standardized damage over time rule set. Decrease the duration to 8 seconds from 8.5 and increase the damage per tick by 12.5%. So this now, it used to, like when you actually spammed Venomous Claw, like the dot and the first damage tick used to tick at the same time, right? And now you actually have to wait 2 seconds for the first damage, like the dot tick to appear. So you can't use it as a spammable anymore. But that's why Noxious Breath is so nice now, right? So it's kind of a buff if you let it run out. Cog Blood, increase the heal of this morph by 90%, nice. Dark Tolerance, increase the damage by 25%. Here they change the tick rate. Oh yeah, Dragon Leap, increase the radius by 8 meters, very nice. Inhale, increase the damage of this initial hit of this ability and its morphs by 25%. So much AoE damage increase, like on the Dragon Knight, it's crazy. Increase the damage of the delayed explosion by 7%. This was done to adhere the ability to our AoE standards, yeah. So they're trying to mainstream a lot of the AoE ability, like AoE and single target dot abilities and all that stuff. So it makes sense, right? So a little bit. Yeah, okay, that's this. Now this here is a big boy change. Reflective Scale is now called Protective Scale. Converted the reflect function into a 50% damage mitigation. Or damage reduction from projectiles. This happened to all morphs. So you do not reflect abilities anymore, but you get 50% damage mitigation. This sounds like a nerf. If you're in a 1v1, it's probably a nerf, but actually in general, in Cyrodiil and so on, this is actually a big buff, because I think now it doesn't have a limit anymore. So it will last for the full duration, and it's actually 6 seconds now, if I recall correctly. Rakat easy mode, yeah. This is actually quite a huge buff. I'm not sure, I mean, it is a buff, but I feel like, you know, reflecting stuff was kind of a theme of Dragon Knight, so I'm not really okay with them taking that completely away. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's like kind of a unique skill taken away, but it's also kind of a buff in most situations, so yeah. And obviously, if this counts for all ranged, or like for all projectiles, that will also be strong in PvE in trials, because a lot of stuff is projectiles. JOD with the donation, thank you very much. Yeah, dude, I know, it's probably not gonna happen, they barely can keep up the EU servers. So, yeah. Probably not gonna happen. But yeah, you have way too high ping. It is what it is. Elsweyr is already out, yes. Monday on PC. It will launch June 4th on console. Arfan Heart, Ash Clouds would increase the damage here a little bit. Which is nice. And the healing too. Then here they changed, so Magma Armor lasts longer now. A lot of the abilities, they increase the duration by a little bit, so like there was really weird numbers, like 3.6 seconds, 8.2 seconds, now they have like whole numbers, which is nice. That's about it, yeah. So DK, Magicka DK, like huge ass buff, okay? Especially, you could probably like you could make really mad lava with builds now, like the molten ones, because the 33% extra damage is kind of crazy. Kinda crazy. I'm not sure, Milk Crate. I'm not sure. So yeah, Stem DK also received a few buffs, not that much, but I really like I especially like the Fiery Breath change. So you can use Noxus Breath as spam now. I still would like to see Sauce implement more stamina morphs for Dragon Knight. I like the poison theme a lot. Nightblade. Yeah, Void.exe. On PC, it's early access now, May 20. Yeah, I updated most of the builds already on the website. We will also create a few new builds for PvP, but obviously we have to go PvP first. And now I'm busy with leveling up Necromancers at the moment. Double take. So they also focused a lot on Nightblade. Which kinda like, I don't know why. It was fine. Kindish, I guess. I would rather them actually focus on like Stem Sorc, Stem DK to make them a little bit more appealing. Especially Stem Sorc, you play basically the weapon skill lines, right? But no, let's tweak Nightblade again. Anyway, let's see. Double take, renamed and reworked this morph, renamed this morph to Phantasmal Escape. This morph no longer grants Mage Expedition for 4 seconds. Instead, it grants immunity to Snare and Immobilization for 2.5 to 4 seconds. Okay, 4 seconds. That's actually really strong. Basically like forward momentum. So, yeah. One of the strengths of the Nightblade is always mobility, right? But does it still give Major Evasion and now it also gives the Snare stuff? Damn, boy. Swap out Lockestits for? So you want to run Relican and Lockestits. Just remove advancing. You need a good group though to make that work. Deathstroke, disability and incapacitating strike. Incap strike morph will no longer apply major defile to the target. Makes sense. This was overtuned anyway, so it's nice. Incap strike. This morph will now silence the enemy for 3 seconds. Where's the debated song? If cast with 120 or more ultimate, the silence can be CC broken and it failed to apply the CC immune enemies. I really don't like that change. It's like, it's so dumb. It was fine how it, like, they should have just left the stun how it is and actually do this. I don't know. Because now as a Magicka character, you either have to block or dodge roll till it's over. Or get wrecked, I guess. I don't know. And as a stamina, it's kind of like, well, I don't care. But no more stun. Brownie, you can try to do target dummy tests. No, this is not vodka, dude, it's water. It's not that late yet. I'm not that desperate yet. Or okay, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not gonna. Fuck. Whatever. Makes no sense anyway. Should we? Okay. The goal with this change to in-cap strikes conditional bonus was to tone down some of the shutdown mechanics to it. So you up. Where? What? Since silence are essential stunts that allow the target to continue moving. Blocking and dodging. We are aware of the nature that silences have in terms of effectiveness of varying builds, which is why we found the ability to CC break this effect would be an ideal compromise. It still has the counterplay options of a traditional stun, but no longer needs to always be broken. So they was to tone down some of the shutdown mechanics, and they slap silence on it. Makes sense. And I also know that they actually didn't put the CC, the break free at the first there. So it's PR talk. The new patch is already here, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, Kibbles. Thanks for mentioning that. I will fix that later. Thank you. Yeah, you can CC break it now. They didn't implement that first, though. Okay, Grim Focus. So they removed the minor berserk. I feel like that's a mistake. Sure, it's strong, but I feel like why do it, right? What the fuck? The best meta build? Just need to check out my website. I usually have the meta builds there. There's the link. Oh yeah. The Spectral Bow now heals for 35% of the damage dealt if you are within 7 meters of the target when firing it. I will update the saved variables. Now, reduced, whatever the... Okay. So now this here is the big catch. That's... The ability and its morphs will now reduce your damage taken by 3% for each light attack or heavy attack you use, up to 5 times. Note that this bonus will persist even if the Grim Focus buff fades from you, as it is tethered to the amount of stacks you had while the buff was active. So essentially, if you don't use that Spectral Bow, you get 15% damage mitigation. Forever. So yeah, heavy armor, stem blades in PvP. Just don't bother trying to kill them anymore. You're not gonna kill them. It's like, in my opinion, Nightblade should be bursty, squishy. But now, like they're already really strong in heavy armor. Now they're like god. Like you're not gonna. I don't know how you want to. I know who's maining a Nightblade at Source HQ. I don't know how this will turn out, but I don't like. It sounds super OP to be honest. And even I used this in the trial already once. Like, you feel like a off tank, dude. Because 15% mitigation is so much, and then you have like major evasion on top of that. You're not gonna die. Nox, thank you for the donation. What PvP build would be best for Stemblade? It's hard to say. Probably heavy armor is really strong. We will also work on a new Stemblade build during the patch, but I'm not sure when yet. At first I want to focus on Necro. You know, that should be 10% per stack. Madi, you should apply for Souls. I can give you the link. Bonepire? Yeah. A lot of heavy armor Nightblades are around now. This year it makes them so strong. Okay, let's move on. Merciless Resolve now increases healing down 50%. Yeah, basically when you shoot the Spectral Bow, it gives you a huge burst heal now, so it's also not bad. And the Relentless Focus, 30 seconds instead of 20. So yeah. I really don't like that change. Especially this is, I don't like, what the fuck, dude. Lotus Fan increased the damage. The dot applies from this ability by approximately 175%. which is nice. It didn't really do a lot of damage. Mark target, remove the cost from this ability and its morph. This was done to make it more comparable to abilities such as weakness to elements that only apply a debuff. So basically, all mark target and the morphs cost nothing now, so you can spam them all day. Smart. Teleport Strike. This ability and its morphs will no longer stun NPC enemies. Instead, the targets affected by the initial damage will be afflicted with minor vulnerability. So yeah, you have a vulnerability source. No, why would I do that, Master? All classes work, like all builds work. Then we have Aspect of Terror. This ability and its morphs no longer snare the target after fear ends. So it fears 3 instead of 2, but now the mass hysteria one. This morph no longer applies minor maim to the targets affected. Also increases the number of fear targets to 6 instead of 2. That's a lot, guys. That's like, holy moly. Dark Claw is buggy at the moment? Okay. Well, if you want the meta build, you just need the fucking stem necro, dude. Why do you need a list? You're just gonna roll a stem necro. Yeah, I know Blast Bones is a little bit buggy at the moment. Yeah, this is so strong, like Jesus. I mean, people, I don't know why people complain Nightblade got nerfs, but this, it just feels like OP. Dark Cloak, it will now heal the casters for 6% of their max health every 1 second, and duration can increase to a maximum of 8 seconds with other passes. Yeah, if you want the OP class, you're just gonna roll a stem necro in PV at the moment. You don't need to roll anything else. Because the major vulnerability is juicy as hell. The tooltip will now... That's not a lot. And the protection is bugged too? Okay. Whatever. Adjusted this passive to grant a flat 1 and 2 second duration increase to shadow. Ah, okay, so yeah, I like that they give it seconds instead of shitty percentage stuff. Summon Shade, so that's another big change actually. So this ability now scales with the caster's max magic and spell damage or stamina and weapon damage. So essentially, you can use this on stamina magic characters now. Now on top of that, Dark Shade, this ability now deals 50% more damage. The AoE attack it casts can happen 5% more frequently, or happen more frequently than before, and deals 20% more damage than the default attack. So this is actually really good for stamina and magic. Most Magicka even more because it's still magic damage, but it's also decent for a stem setup now, if you have space. Which is nice. Then, Surprise Attack. It lost its major fracture, so this is the only big nerf to Nightblades, but with all the other buffs, like, who the fuck cares? If you actually flank the enemy, you like, apply like a debuff on it, so it reduces their physical resistance by 5%. I guess it makes sense, because it was overtuned in my opinion. I wish they would have applied Major Fracture to another ability in that skill tree, but whatever. Siphoning. Cripple. Adjusted this ability and the debilitate morph to follow our damage over time rule set. Increase the total duration to 10 seconds. 4% damage increase. Reduce the snare potency to 30%. Good. The ability and its morphs no longer grant the caster major expedition. Yeah, that was weird. The ability can now be placed on an infinite amount of targets. Or before it was restricted to one. Minor Berserk loss is definitely a nerf. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree. Like, I don't think they should have changed in-cap. Taking away the major defile made sense, but they shouldn't have removed the stun. And they should not have removed Minor Berserk from the bow. And definitely not given the damage mitigation. What do you...
And what exactly am I supposed to do with a wagon full of goods and no one to buy them, huh?
This effect cannot stack, but will always prioritize the highest value. By that they probably mean the dude that has the highest resistance.
Someone usually comes to pick it up, but they haven't shown up this month. I'm going to lose my shirt here. If they don't pick up their order, I don't...
Nightblade has... You just got the snare and immobilization immunity on a Nightblade skill. On the Mirage, or the other one.
Wild creatures? To a school where they lob off the heads of the unworthy? No, thank you. I'll just wait here. Someone's bound to show up eventually.
Okay. Crippling, added 2-second delay between the first damage over time tick and the initial hit. Also increased damage of the initial hit by approx 25%. Increase the damage of each dot tick by 25%. Okay. So it takes less, but deals a little bit more damage. Increase the snare. Nobody really uses this. Yeah, I know it's kind of like identity change, I guess, sure. Drain power. So this is actually really good now. They increase the damage. Zap Essence and other one. I think also 25%. On they increase the power extraction even further. That's nice. Very nice. Siphoning. Oh yeah, another big thing was actually on the Relentless, they removed the minor endurance too. That's also kind of like... Didn't they? Wait. Did we miss that? Oh yeah, I didn't read that. Huh? If cast... Wait. Doesn't it have that sustain thingy on the ink cap now? They forget to add that? Or was it only on PTS? The hell? Okay, we had this. Oh, they just forgot to mention it in the notes? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Reef. It was called Reef. It's not super good, but it's still better than nothing. Okay, Soul Tether, whatever. But yeah, a lot of changes, like, Jesus. Nightblade was fine in my opinion. I mean, sure, it was really strong, but it's like... I would rather them actually take time on a stem Sork or a stem DK, which could need way more attention. Now we have Sork. They reduce the cost on Crystal Shard 15% and reduce the minimum travel time on this and it morphs to 250 milliseconds from 450. Yeah. I hate when it's like can't impact, it's so annoying. Nice that they changed it. NKs reduce the duration of the immobilize from disability to 4 from like why even bother, bro? Yeah, a lot of the magical Nightblades actually use Incap now over the other one. Even in, like in PvE and PvP. Shattering Prison increases damage of the explosion by approximately 82%. So yeah, that's quite a huge buff. Negate magic, blah blah blah. Change the tooltip. Daedric Summoning. Ah, Daedric Curse. Fix an issue where the AoE detonation of this ability and its morphs could be blocked. Yeah, okay. This refers only to the AoE portion of the ability. Also, original target couldn't block the damage. Okay. The rank is different, whatever. Added a pet taunt functionality to this ability that is similar to the one built into heavy attacks. Your active pets will now prioritize targets with Daedric Prey. That's nice. You could already use heavy attacks, so the pets would go for it, but now it's actually even better, so when you use Daedric Prey, it will go on them. Pretty cool. They reduced the damage bonus from pets from this ability to 40% from 55%. But it's a small nerf, but its pets are so crazy strong. Okay, there was a bug with Hardened Ward where this ability was getting a 40% bonus instead of a 21%. Quite yeah, okay. Wraith 89. I would probably go with Scoria just to get more health. Streak. So this here is also a cool change. This ability will now scale with your highest offensive stats and increase the stun duration to 3 seconds from 1.8. So it essentially will do more damage on a stem sword now too. Thank you, Happy. Lightning Form. This morph now grants the 4 seconds of Major Expedition immediately rather than starting at 2.5 seconds. Okay. I didn't know that. That's weird. Didn't feel like it. That's like, I don't understand, but whatever. Lightning Splash. Increase the duration of this ability and its morphs to 8 seconds. Liquid Lightning. This morph now lasts 12 seconds. Okay. That's so long. It's nice. But yeah, more dynamic rotation. Lightning Flood. Increase the damage of this morph by 5%. So either one. You could choose Lightning Flood now, so it fits the blockade rotation and it also deals more damage. Or you could use Liquid Lightning, which has a longer duration but more a dynamic one. So I'm not sure which one is actually better. Lightning Flood is probably better now. I'm actually using Lightning Flood now on all the builds. But yeah. FL? What do you mean FL? Oh, LF. Yeah. It's way big. I mean, the size is not that big, right? But that important, but yeah. Because it is 8 seconds, so like Blockade of Fire, you can just backbar it and reapply the dots at the same time. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Mage's Wrath. Increase the damage of the area of effect damage of this ability and its morphs by 20% to be on par with other executes. Nice. Fixed an issue where this ability's detonation was able to be dodged. I hated that. Kind of annoying, but now you cannot do it anymore, right? Despite the initial hit also being able to be dodged. Now the initial hit lands on the target, they will not be able to dodge the detonation. This is actually kind of a huge buff or fix. Yeah, for most people, Breton is probably the best choice, in my opinion. Just the sustain is just juicy. Endless Fury. This ability now returns Magicka if the target died within 5 seconds of taking damage, rather than only if this ability gained the killing blow. Oh yeah, that's also nice. That's yeah, very nice. Overload got the small buff, and that's it. So, yeah, PV wise, very juicy, I would say. Templar. Yeah, the thing is, Stem Sword. Can we have some Stem Sword, like some Stem abilities, please, Sauce? Pretty please. Can somebody link the patch notes in the chat? Templar. Aedric Spear. Burning Light. Fixed an issue, was able to be dodged despite the fact that the damage was tethered to an attack that already could be blocked or dodged. Okay. Focus Charge. Reduce the damage dealt by this ability and the toppling charge move by 8% to put it on par with other gap closer abilities. You can spam this now basically because they changed how gap closers work. Explosive charge increased the damage dealt from this morph by 15%. Nice. Toppling charge fixed an issue where this ability's morph could not be CC broken. Yeah, is that really fixed? They say that every patch. This ability and its morphs will now always apply off balance to the target rather than requiring them to be interrupted. Okay. MH Bach. It probably will, yes. I'm not sure. The chat 14. The chat 4. I'm not sure. You also have to see one is stamina and one magicka, if I recall correctly. Now, piercing javelin increases the duration of the stun granted from this ability and its morphs to land on a beautiful whole number. Wow, what a nice patch note. This means the base ability and Aurora Javelin now stun for 2 seconds rather than 1.8, while binding will last 4 seconds. Okay. Gets up to 40%, like 2% per meter. Okay. Puncturing strikes reduce the channel time for this ability and morphs to 1 second from 1.1 seconds. So this is a buff to the ability, and you can also weave more light attacks. Now, it's not a huge difference, but it is essentially a buff. Royal Sweep. Increase the radius to 8 meters. Why is it not 10 meters, Sauce? I don't understand. Just make it 10 meters so it actually hits something. Redesigned Empowering Sweeps morph to offer damage rather than survivability. Why can I never pronounce that? The damage pools after the initial hit now last 6 seconds at base, but is increased by 2 seconds for each enemy hit up to a maximum of 6 seconds. Okay, so you can extend the duration now by this thing, that's actually pretty strong. So if you actually hit 6 people, you can make it pulls for a long time. That's cool. It also now grants Empower for the duration rather than major protection. Okay. Yeah, I know. Punching sweeps is still kinda... You get you baited in Lego deal. Bommel, come on, it wasn't that bad, please. What the hell, dude? That's gonna be my next character name. Anyway, let's move on. Spear shards increase initial hit damage of this ability and its morphs by 36%. Very nice. More buffs to shards. Shun's gonna one-shot people. Increase the dot of this ability and the shards by 5%. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, so it's more buffs to shards. Easy. Sun Shield. Increase the initial damage of this ability and Radiant Morph by 150% to put it on par with our PBAOE standards. Blazing Shield damage remains untouched. Yeah. Radiant War. This ability no longer gains additional cost reduction. Instead, the bonus shield size for enemies hit goes up to 9%. That's cool. Exaro. I'm good. How are you? Eclipse. This ability and its morphs will no longer proc off direct damage attacks such as spiked armor or Who's of the of this Harbinger set, okay? Reduce the damage dealt by the Thorn mechanic damage return of this ability and its morphs by 25%. Note, this only pertains to the damage, the heal of Total Dark, and explosion of Unstable or remain untouched. Power of the Light. The Power of the Light, the ability still lasts 6 seconds, but Minor Fracture and Minor Breach will now last 9 seconds. So the debuff lasts longer, but the explosion still is after 6 seconds. It's kind of weird in my opinion. But yeah, I guess it's not kind of nice. I wish it would just last a full 9 duration. Well, actually, I don't know. It usually reaches max damage anyway after a short time, so it would be a nerf, I guess. So it's actually nice that it only is 6 seconds. But yeah, Don't know. Solar Flare. Reduce the cast time from disability in the Dark Flare morph to 1 second from 1.1. Increase the travel speed to match other projectiles. Reduce the damage by 37%. Reduce the base cost from 2,970. Match. Aha, so it used to be 3,240, now it's 2,970, yeah. So that's... You're sick? What happened? You need to drink schnapps. Usually helps. With tea, okay. Schnapps with tea, or tea with schnapps, whatever you prefer. So yeah, I think that's too much damage gone for like a 0.1 second increase. Rest in peace. Sunfire adjusts disability and smorphs to follow our standardized damage over time rule set. The duration has been increased to 8 seconds from 6.25 and increased the damage per tick by 31% to make up for the loss of the first tick. Instead of immediately ticking, it will tick after 2 seconds. Yeah, Funix Gaming, basically. I'm from Alton. Yeah, I do... I mean, I'm from close to Alton. I do speak Swiss German. Next thing. Vampire's Bane. This ability now lasts 12 seconds instead of 10.256144452. Okay, great. Reflective Light. The spread how far this ability will attempt to find targets near your initial target is now 5 meters instead of 4.5. So generous. So generous. Why you changed the number? Yeah, the reason why they changed these single target damage over time effects is because people use these. So, like when you look at rending slashes, people use this as spammable abilities because it was way cheaper and almost did the same damage as crushing weapon, for example, right? So to prevent, because it has an initial hit that goes off and the first damage over time tick that goes off. And obviously if those two things go off at the same time, it almost deals as much damage as a single target ability like Crushing Shock. So to prevent that, now the first damage over time tick of the ability goes off after 2 seconds, so you can't just spam it anymore. Cleansing Ritual. This ability and its morphs will now grant healing and or damage based on the user's highest offensive stats rather than just magic and spell damage. So if you have stamina and weapon damage, it will scale off that. It's actually an interesting and kind of weird change, but I'm taking it. Not bad, not bad. You use it anyway as a stem templar, so it is a best. A buff, not the best. Jesus. Time to go AFK. Did I drink too much coffee? Okay, that's it for Templar. Please, guys, make sure do not forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, always ask in the comment section below or on our community Discord. We'll put everything into the description. All you need is there. And if you subscribe, make sure to hit the ding dong bell, okay? Because even though you're subscribed, you might not get the notification as long as you don't hit the ding dong bell for some reason. Because Logic 2019 left the chat. Warden left the chat too. I'm kidding. Anyway. Animal Companion, Falcon Swiftness. Reduce the cost of this ability and morphs to 2,700 from 3,500. Okay. This ability no longer grants major endurance. Okay. Major Expedition now lasts 6 seconds instead of 4. Oh, whatever. We did DK already. I will upload this to YouTube anyway, so you can watch it again. Don't worry. DK was a long discussion. Scorch! This ability and its morphs can now be blocked. So that's a big one. That's a big ass nerf, actually. So previously you could not block it. Now you can actually block it. Warden dead class. No, I'm not dead, but it's a hefty nerf. Green Balance. Corrupting pollen. This ability no longer applies major defile to enemies for 4 seconds inside, which allows it to bypass a 6-player target cap. Set up to 6 enemies inside will be properly afflicted with major defile. Okay, I guess. So you see coming from a mile away and you can block it. Yes, Winter, that's basically correct. Fix, whatever, Lotus Flower. Increase the radius of the heal from this ability and it's morphs to 28 meters from 12. That's a huge buff. Okay. Nature's Grasp. This ability and its morphs now scale with your highest offensive stats rather than just your magic and stamina. Again, like it feels like they want to make more stamina or more abilities viable with stamina, but it's like, why not introduce a full stem morph? Sure, here it doesn't matter that much because it's healing, but like there's other abilities which could use like cleansing ritual, right? Sure, it scales off weapon damage and stamina too now, but it's still like magic damage. The retribution one, right? It's like maybe you should do some well, it wouldn't fit into the Templar theme, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird, but anyway, it's not bad. It's a nice change, but it's just a little bit weird. I don't know. Winter's Embrace. It would be sick if actually all abilities would just be, you're a stamina character. It should change the stem morph, but then it probably people will find ways to abuse it, and Sauce would take too much manpower to actually do that stuff. Yeah, Chudo errors. Yep. That's the thing, like for example, when I want to use Dawnbreaker in PvP on a Magicosaur, it scales with max magic and spell damage, but the damage type is still physical damage, so it will not scale with your champion points, right? That's the thing. Arctic Wind. Increase the heal over time from this ability and its morphs to 3%, up from 2%. Okay. Arctic Blast. Increase the travel speed. The projectile is similar to Destructive Touch. Yeah, okay. Polar Wind. Increase the radius to 12 meters from 8 meters, I guess. I doubt it, Huppy. It's not really related to CP, it's more like a skill issue. But we will see. Crystallized Shield. Remove the cost reduction rank. Okay, they will now all cost 3,780 at base. The size of the shield from this ability will increase. Okay. Adjust the magical return to be 22% of the ability's cost instead of the previous base value. Okay. Crystallized Slave. Increase the damage return of this morph by 55%. Okay. I mean, the Shimmering Shield is probably still better because the ulti chain is just so juicy. But in Battlegrounds, this can actually be kinda nice if you wanna test it out. Yeah. Woohoo, what do you mean? On Nightblade? Yeah. No, Jehud. It's also depending on whether like you have spell or physical, depending on the stat type. Frozen Gate. Again. Cost change. Duration has been streamlined to 30 seconds on all morphs. Okay, nothing too serious. Impaling Shards and Gripping Shards. Increase the damage dealt by these abilities by 30%. Okay, nice. This scales of health, I think, right? So it's like whatever. Winter's Revenge. Fix an issue where these morphs could snare enemies through walls. Sleet Storm. Reduce the potency of the snare from this ability and its morphs to 40%. Yeah. All snare reduction is nice, thank you. The Necrocrime thingy? Yeah, dude. It's like one of these ideas that sounds great when you come up with it, but it will just get so annoying so fast. I mean, I personally never died to it because I never press abilities in cities. Good joke. I really wish there would be an opt-out version. But yeah. Das is like, debated. Ultimate troll, get wrecked. Okay, combat ability changes. Next thing. Yeah, actually can summon Daedric beasts and guards are like, it's fine, don't worry. Because they're tamed, of course. Two-handed. So the rework cleave. This ability needs morphs. Rework this ability and it's morphs so the damage is increased by 50%, but remove the bleed from this. Okay. So it deals more damage and that makes the Master Two-hander even more crazy. So this does a lot of impact damage, especially if you use a Master Two-hander. So if you don't have a Master Two-hander, it might be wise to go get one. Carve. So this morph doesn't give you minor heroism anymore, but it now applies a bleed. Brawler, remove the bleed from this ability and increase the shield granted from this morph by 100% at base, but reduce the scaling from 100 to 50. So yeah, it's basically... This means at base this ability will be 100% stronger and will be approximately 14% stronger than previously, yeah. I always say go get Brawler in PV, like on trash packs, it's so strong. You get a 20k shield every time you use it. And if you combine it with a Master Two-hander, you get like 50, 60k crits. It's so crazy strong. Crazy. Bizlobo with the raid. How are you doing? And thank you. Can somebody shout out? Wait, I will do it. People always... write the sneaky name wrong. There we go. Guys, make sure to give Bizlobo a follow. Very cool guy. Plays on PC EU and a little bit on NA. If you have any PvP questions, you can always ask him. Okay? Very important. And what's with those beer signs? Now I'm thirsty. I could get the Guinness. You know, I'm doing this Guinness diet. A Guinness a day makes the belly go away. Didn't work yet, but you know, I still started like 2 weeks ago, so it might take a little bit longer. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? How hard does it? Why do you mean Wolverine? I actually made a joke on Twitter and then I posted the Thor meme, you know, fat Thor. It's like, okay, it didn't work out, I guess. Now it's time to laugh, guys, come on. Alcast is so funny. Comment section, please. Anyway, let's move on, otherwise we're never gonna finish this. Uppercut. Remove the ability, what? No, reduce the damage dealt from this ability and its morphs by 14% to make up for the removal of the post-global noted. Okay. On PTS it was higher, right? I've been on a Guinness diet for the last 10 years. That's a long diet, Jesus. Stamina is higher. Okay. Now this will result in a 6% overall DPS increase when you're a Wrecking Blow spammer. Yeah, okay. It was nerfed more on the PTS, so it's actually not. I guess it's fine. But still, a good player will never... It's too easy to avoid. One-handed shield? Damn, that overhaul must have taken weeks. Dual wheel Blade Cloak. Fixed issues, yeah. Deadly Cloak, increase the damage of this morph by 4%. So that it properly gains 50% damage compared to the other morph. Okay, I take that buff. Flurry! Like a furry. I don't think you will get the cheap resp. It's actually a good question. Maybe when it goes live. Might be the case. Poor man's jabs. Wow. Increase damage dealt from this ability and its morphs by approximately 21%. So this is actually a good ability now again. And Maelstrom daggers, also viable again. So if you want, you can do the good and old Maelstrom rotations on your builds. Flying Blade, increase the damage dealt from this morph by 10%, not bad. They removed the snare, okay, that makes sense. Now, next thing, Twin Slashes, so yeah, damage increase. Duration increase to 10 seconds because the first damage tick comes later now. PvP Flurry, yeah. Increase the damage per tick by approximately 15% to make up for the loss of the first tick, yeah, so it's about the same. Increase the healing per tick by approximately 27% and fix an issue. Yeah, nice. Whirlwind, so that's the big change. They basically took away... So let's read first. Increase the base damage of this ability and morphs by 50%, but remove the execute bonus. Reduce the base cost. Now, increase the radius of this ability and the whirling death morph to 6 meters. Seal Tornado, remove the execute bonus, but reduce the base cost. So it's basically like a cost reduction, aka nobody gives a shit anymore. You want to use Whirling Blades now. They removed the Major Endurance, and they reintroduced the execute bonus on this dude, so... Reduce the execute threshold for this ability to 50% from 100% in order to reduce instances where it was, yeah. It was actually stronger because it scaled so crazy than single target abilities, but now it starts scaling at 50%. So essentially, even on single target, you can use this as an execute now. It still hits, it hits really hard. Okay. Nobody cares? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So yeah, it makes sense, I guess. Bow, arrow spray. Remove the snare from the civilians' morphs, but increase their damage by 27% and reduce the cost. Acid spray. Increase the damage over time by approximately 40%, but added a 1 second delay. Bombard. That's actually a cool thing. Let me actually show you that. Like, I have this Poison Dragon Knight build, which is very effective, by the way. I will also put it into the description. I can post it in the chat here too.
Guys, I'm done for today.
So the cool thing about the Dragon Knight is it has a really strong passive, which gives you 25% poison ability reduction, right? So everything on a Dragon Knight is really cheap. Love Loki with a 4 months resub. Can we see some hype in the chat? Thank you very much. Oh, they improved the loading screens, as you can see. It's basically a snap of a finger. So that means, like on a Dragon Knight, on a poison build, even on a bow build, whatsoever, like it's just so cheap. And arrow spray spam as an AoE damage is really strong for trash packs. You're in a safe distance, you're not gonna die to any AoE damage because you didn't block or you didn't, I don't know, you didn't do anything. Hashtag Wayrest1 never happened. God damn it. That loading screen. Oh, go stuck. Okay, there we go. 2 years later. So this ability, or passive here, Whirl in Rin, decreases the cost of your stem and poison abilities by 25%. So when I have lethal arrow, I always say little arrow. You see, 1,300 cost. Noxious breath, 1,500, 700. Now when we go to bow, acid spray, 1,400. So it makes it so cheap to spam. Right? I mean, don't remove cult drops. But you're not gonna like run out of stem. It's so strong. And even shadows. Poison build is really strong. I can highly recommend checking it out. One of my favorite builds at the moment. But also because I like Dragon Knight. Stem Dragon Knight. Two-hand cleave I already have on my website. There's the link. Okay, where were we? Next. So yeah, arrow spray, very viable now. You can also just run this in the back bar if you want dual wield on the front bar. You don't need to do a double bow build. Okay, snipe. They also put it on a 1 second instead of 1.1. They reduced the damage by 25%, so that's actually a huge nerf. And lethal arrow applies minor defile now instead of major defile. Then focused aim is got the cost reduction and increased the range by 5. Okay. DK is a bitch to sustain? How? If you use a snipe build, if you use a lethal arrow build, you don't have sustain issues at all. And you can just use Noxious Breath as a spammable even on dual wield. It's like, it's one of the best sustains you will ever have on a class, in my opinion. So you're probably doing something wrong. Destruction Staff, Wall of Frost, reduce the snare from 60 to 40, that's nice. Then Restoration Staff, Panacea, how do I pronounce it? I don't know. This ability no longer grants major protection. I guess it was fine because, well, it's fine that it got nerfed because it was really strong. Unarmed, heavy attack. What? Okay, I guess whatever. They changed Werewolf a little bit. You can now Devour a little bit better. Then Infectious Claw, they increase the damage. Werewolf Bleed. So they decreased the bleed duration. They added a 1 second delay between the initial hit and the first tick. Decreased the damage per tick by 15%. The pack leader, and increased the damage per tick by plus 25% for the Berserker more. So yeah. It's a small nerf, well, kind of a big boy nerf, obviously, but whatever. I guess it was a little bit overperforming, I don't know. They rebalanced Werewolf like 3 patches ago. I don't know why they touched this again, I'm not sure, but it is what it is. Previously, a big portion of Werewolf's burst damage came from the fact that their bleed applied from their light attacks dealt damage immediately and could be spammed in quick succession. Oh yeah, light attack spamming? That's a thing? What? Okay. Now with the delay, we wanted to ensure you couldn't miss the damage, so we are making sure these bleeds couldn't refresh if they were already active. Panacea. You sure? Okay. In addition to this, you have noticed a large disparity of the performance between the pack leader and the Berserker morph, and they're currently in the midst of investigating a healthier balance between the two. They need Detective Alcast for that, I think. Dawnbreaker from Fighters Guild. Again, the dot effect to 2 seconds from 1, so it's later. Yeah. The total duration is now 6 seconds instead of 5. Okay, so it ticks later, but it lasts a little bit longer. Dawnbreaker of Smiting. The stun from this ability no longer ranks up from 1.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Instead, it is a flat 2 seconds at all ranks. This morph now progressively gets stronger in damage as it ranks up instead. This will result in a 5.7 initial hit damage increase and a 9% over time portion increase. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit less. Okay, yeah, okay, makes sense. Silver Leash. Fixed, okay. No, it's not fixed, it's improved, I'm sorry. It's improved. Suchik, accelerate, increase the duration of the Mage Expedition buff from ability and morphs to 4 seconds from 3. No channel acceleration will now last 12 seconds rather than 9. Race against time. This morph no longer reduces the cost of sprinting by 50% for 4 seconds. Instead, it now grants immunity to snares and immobilizations for 4 seconds. It's kind of like a forward momentum. Oh, this is a nice change. This is actually really strong now. It was already good before, but now it's actually... holy cow. It's a magical character. Even as a stem character, this looks really juicy. Mend Wounds. Revamped this ability. The light attack no longer triggers the global cooldown and can be weaved with other abilities. Okay, that's nice. No, yeah, this is basically for free now. You don't have... it doesn't cost magic anymore to use. Light attacks now heal instantly for the same amount that a light attack would damage an enemy. Okay, heavy attack still channels and heals every second, but has been reduced to be the same scaling of other weapons. Heavy attacks. It now restores magic every time it successfully heals an ally. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool one. Perfect one. You don't need all. But it's still better to get them if you can. I actually haven't checked about that. Maybe I can remove a few. I have more important other stuff to do at the moment. Wait, what? It now grants immunity to snares and place for 4 seconds. And here, reduce the snare and massage immunity to 1 second from... What? So wait... Is it 4 now or 1? Chapatimus Maximus. Is it 4 or 1? Somebody know? It's 2 seconds? Ah, okay, the immunity now increases as the ability ranks up to a maximum of 2. The fuck, dude? Okay, whatever. Still good, still good. Broadlings. The spiders will now attack every 2 seconds instead of every 1.5. Increase damage a little bit. So yeah, the spiders got nerfed a little bit, but they're still strong. Black Widow reduce the damage of this by about 58%. Hey, what the hell? Whatever. Caltrops. No longer snares enemies hit upon the initial hit. Instead, the initial hit deals as much damage as an instant casting AoE. What? 350% damage increase on the first hit? Damn, that's pretty nice. Okay. Adjust his ability to follow our standardized damage or timer. Added 1 second. Delay between the initial tick hit and the first tick. Increase the damage per tick by 8%. And the Cavalier Caltrops got a second. It ticks every 1 second. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there is really no point to use Cavalry if this... I mean, if this... Benefit unlocking FPS? Nah, not really. You have stable 60 or 100, it's all Gucci. A lot of people keep asking, so I made an article about it. Is Guard gonna get me killed now if... What did... The transferred damage can no longer be mitigated a second time by transfer target mitigation of damage. The damage is only mitigated once from the initial target. The transferred damage is now correctly attributed to the attacker, no longer attributed to the initial target. It will no longer scale erroneously with the initial target damage bonus. What? So you can, okay. I don't know. No clue. Didn't understand, whatever. A fool reduced the maximum value of this star to 35% from 55, okay. Nice. 55 is so much, Jesus. Okay, now there is also decreased health enchant. I mean, that's nice. Oblivion damage is shit, so it's good that they removed it. Now that they rebalanced a lot of the foods and drinks, actually, so... And it ranks up properly now, so you have green, blue, purple, gold. So the gold food will always be better than the blue food and stuff like that, so... When we... Wait, where do I have that listed on a build somewhere? Whatever. On most of my Magicka builds, you actually see, like, instead of using blue food, we're using Bloody Mara now, because Bloody Mara is 2-stat. It's a little bit better than the blue max health, max Magicka food. That's the thing. So yeah, it's a small nerf for the drinks here, but it's still good, that stuff. But yeah, most Magicka builds, if you run False Gods Devotion with a Breton, you will run gold food anyway. Like the, not the Clockwork, the Bloody Mara. Gives so much stats now. You have so much sustain. Easy peasy. Yeah, that's a big change. Also a little bit imbalance because Necropotence and Clockwork food is basically worse than Bright Throats with Bloody Mara food. It's a little bit dumb, but whatever. Maybe they will change it later on. Okay, that's this. Item sets. Advancing Yokida. Added a 1.5 second internal cooldown from generating a stack, but increased the duration to 6 seconds. So that's nice. Sometimes it used to drop off for people that didn't have a fast rotation, so it actually lasts longer now. Fix. Error, fix. A lot of fix. Holy shit. Deadly Strike. This set will no longer drop in heavy armor boxes and will instead drop in medium. Oh, that was still bugged? Okay, didn't know. Earthgore. This item set now instantly dispels all negative effects rather than one. The heal granted from this set now only heals the target with the lowest health in the area rather than 6th lowest target. Okay. That's a huge nerf, but I guess makes sense. Essence Thief, fix a lot of stuff. Yeah, fix. I'm still sad. This set has such a cool effect, but it's basically useless. Oh, Shield Breaker is a big change. Yeah, okay. Redesigned this set. This item set so it no longer deals damage when you light attack a target with a shield active. Now it increases your damage dealt by 6% at all times. This effect is doubled when attacking targets with a damage shield active. So that's actually... I don't know. Kind of a nerf, but it's still really strong. Like 16% extra damage on shields is a lot. Holy cow. And even if it's not on a shield, it's still 6%. Adjusted. Yeah, there. Siege damage in Steep enabled cameras will now hit approximately 30% harder. Okay, damn. That's a huge buff. Yeah, it's 12% on the shield and 6% on non-shields. Yeah.
I'm going to lose my shirt here. If they don't pick up their order, I don't get paid.
Wait, did they nerf? No, I'm kidding. There's no Fungal Grotto 1 nerf? Disappointed. Okay, that stuff is probably just blah blah blah. Crafting, gamepad. Yeah. So I like a lot of the changes, and I actually like that they have a structure now where they're taking on things. I just wish they would have focused a little bit more on like stem sorg, stem DK, because you just play more the weapon skill lines than the class, unless you play, yeah, I don't know. Stem sorg is like the worst of in PV. You just play the weapon skill lines. And like Magicka Warden could also have needed a little bit more attention instead of a Nightblade, stuff like that. But overall, I kinda like most of the patch notes, and there's a lot of cool new stuff like the Guild Finder. And yeah, Imperial City is now like a separate campaign, which is also really cool. So that's another very positive thing. So yeah, overall very happy, I would say. Now, please guys, make sure to hit the juicy follow, sub button, click the bell, comment, like, whatever you want, and watch the next video. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let me know what you think about these patch notes in the comments below. And if I missed something, let me know too. We will see how they will continue with these. I like it. I'm looking forward to the next patch. There was actually a lot of changes, even though it's mostly like standardization changes. So we will see how it goes on. But yeah, not bad. We didn't cover Necro yet. We will do a separate video on that, and I will probably do introduction videos to all classes anyway. So yeah, this will be a separate video. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers. I'm not going anywhere, guys. Don't do it. It was just for YouTube. How does Toxin build? It's actually really strong. Especially like the sustain is so good compared to other setups. Really juicy. Oh, Denot, good catch. I actually wanted to go take a pee break and check if there's some food in the house. And you want to hear the Chibated song? I will grant you the wish. And I will also roll an ad, okay? Selling, trading, farting. I will be back in a second.
You got